So it comes to the issue of the case. Does the termination of the contract between the HHS and Philips resemble a lawful termination? The reasoning is going to reply the follow three questions. First, did a valid contract come into existence between the HHS and Philips in April 2020? Another question is which legal system applies? And the last question is what's the specific justification for the termination? Then let's move to the first question. According to U.S. law, a contract is defined as the total legal obligation that results from the parties' agreement as determined by the Uniform Commercial Code as supplemented by any other applicable laws. The following events must surface as indications that a legally binding agreement was reached and a valid contract was signed. From emails sent by Philips senior counsel, Mrs. Eady, to the HHS, we know the details of the contract such as the same prices and volumes as later communicated by the parties. And on April 8, 2020, the HHS issued an official statement to announce the closing of a contract with Philips under the Defense Production Act, DPA. Meanwhile, Philips also issued a statement on the company's website confirming the contract. From these actions, we deduct that a binding contract was signed. Now let's move to the second question. Which legal system applies? Since Philips is a Dutch company, one could assume that Dutch law or internationally established principles like antitrust might be applicable. However, one party is the United States Department of Health and Human Services and the other one, Philips North America Incorporated, is the U.S. subsidiary of Koninklijke Philips N.V. Both are U.S.-based parties. Besides, the contract is based on the DPA, a U.S. law, consequently U.S. law shall be applicable in this case. Under U.S. law and according to the contract, Philips is bound to produce 43,000 ventilators until December 2020. And the HHS is bound to pay the agreed upon price. If either party fails to complete the obligations, they face liabilities in front of a court. However, a contract can be modified or terminated if agreed by the parties or for causes provided by the applicable legal system. And one justification of terminations of contracts is the non-performance of a contract partner, for example, one party not delivering to the agreed extent. To the point of the termination, Philips had delivered in full accordance with the contractual obligations. Also, Philips was willing and able to continue performing the contract until completing the contractual obligations. So in this case, usual causes for terminations do not find application. We must examine other applicable causes.